It was January 1968. The USS Pueblo is seized by North Koreans. The crew held captive for 11 months. It is always referred to as the incident, an embarrassing blot on naval history.
I had a lot of disappointments, and the disappointments in the fact that we were never assisted out there, and for whatever reason, the government left us there for 11 months.
But times are changing. This weekend, the Pueblo crew reunites, and the men will be given prisoner of war medals. $40,000 in donations have poured in to pay for those who can't. The commander says this is long overdue.
Young people who are involved in tragedy frequently carry that burden for years. And one way to help assuage that problem is to be recognized.
For myself, I just didn't want the Koreans to get one up on me.
Bob Chicka was 24 in 1968, a wounded staff sergeant.
I felt kind of abandoned over there. I'm an incurable optimistic, so it really took months for the fact to sink into me that no help was coming.
The memory of 1968 still lingers, and events of today, such as the hostages in the Middle East, bring back their pain.
Hostages become a very political thing, as do occasionally prisoners of war. I pray for those people every day.
I know what they're going through, and just have hope and faith in God.
It was faith that got the crew through 1968. To be publicly recognized and honored for their service makes the memories easier, because maybe a little piece of them that was lost is finally allowed to come home. Gina Liu, News 8.
At the turn of the century, remember the Maine became a slogan that rallied a nation. But remember the Pueblo? Until now, the Navy has officially refused to remember. In 1968, the USS Pueblo, a spy ship packed with electronic surveillance equipment, was seized by North Korean forces and held captive for nearly a year. Eyewitness News reporter Dan Ray says that 22 years later, at the urging of the Massachusetts Congressman Nick Mavroulis, the crew of the Pueblo has finally been honored.
In San Diego on Saturday, the 82 members of the USS Pueblo were at last honored as prisoners of war. In 1968, their 11-month captivity was the centerpiece of an election year. Upon their return, a Navy court of inquiry tried unsuccessfully to court-martial the ship's commander, Lloyd Booker.
And for all I know, the same good people who made the decision to abandon us out there are still making decisions for this country.
The spy mission off the coast of North Korea had been promised backup in case of trouble. When trouble came, no backup arrived. The North Koreans opened fire, killing 1 American and wounding 14. 82 were taken prisoner.
The government are the people that, and the brass in Washington, who made decisions after we'd been told we'd be helped, and then they don't show up. This has happened too often in our country, and it's wrong.
When Congress authorized a prisoner of war medal in the 1980s, the Pueblo crew was excluded. Booker, now retired, living in San Diego, took his case to a Massachusetts congressman who forced the Defense Department into retreat.
Last June, Congressman Nick Mavroulis demanded the military explain why the surviving members of the Pueblo crew did not qualify for prisoner of war status.
Now, Captain Booker, would you take the table with your crew members here, with your friends?
The Pentagon reversed its position, clearing the way for Saturday's ceremony.
Commander Lloyd Booker and his crew served their country well and are heroes, and should be recognized by the American people.
This is the first and only opportunity that many of these young fellas have had to stand up in public and be recognized for the service that they gave this country. And it's been a long time coming.
Dan Ray, TV4, Eyewitness News.